He is the owner and operator of Ash Avenue Comics, right here in Tempe, Arizona. She is the organizer of Untidy Secret Storytelling Series. It's Drew Sully and Sarah Maria Rainier.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
Hey there.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Did I say the name right?
Yeah.
Sarah Maria Rainier.
Yeah, like the mountain.
Okay, very cool. And Drew
Yeah.
Sully.
That's it. Yeah.
Are you ever mistaken for Sully? Anybody ever say, "Hey, man, great job on that, on the old lake"?
I've never heard the reference before.
Oh, really? Wow, I'm the first person to liken your Sully to the Sully.
It's not my real last name.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah.
a stage name.
Yeah.
And you took it before the heroic pilot landed that plane.
I took it around the time of the America's Most Wanted episode, so.
Is there another Sully? There's this famous serial killer Sully?
The joke would be I changed my name, but yeah. That's enough of that.
Get it, I get it. Hey,
Only one person making jokes here. I got it.
Where is he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him yet. So, Drew, you own and operate Ash Avenue Comics, one of my favorite comic book stores in the Valley.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here because I know you're getting ready to go to the San Diego Comic-Con.
Yep.
In a day or two. Are you going
Thursday.
Thursday?
Yep.
Okay. So you're going to skip the madness of preview night, dive right into
No
Thursday.
preview night.
That's where the action
Yeah.
is.
Right into the fleshy masses of the convention floor. There's actually kind of a game we play where we announce the first time there's skin-on-skin contact. Where you're kind of navigating, negotiating the crowd. And there's a moment where there's just a real, kind of even like a clammy, sweaty arm rubbing against yours. And it's kind of that moment you regret all the work, everything you've done to go to San Diego Comic-Con. That's the moment where you're like, oh, maybe we could, redo this.
Right,
So.
this wasn't worth the airfare. Wow. So what do you do as a store owner at San Diego Comic-Con?
Well, there's like retailer events, and we get to walk around the floor and go to different, after-hour events. But honestly, one of the things I love about San Diego is there's a lot of really good beer in San Diego. And so the rest, when you're not at the convention, it's a great time to go and hit up different breweries and bars around the city.
The Gaslamp district is popping.
It's definitely avoidable.
When was the first time you went to San Diego Comic-Con?
This is my 20th.
Your 20th?
This is my 20th, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And how has it changed since you started attending?
I think the attendance, my first year was 1996. I only skipped 2 years in between, 2017 and 96?
Okay.
So I think the attendance was 40,000 my first year. I think I met Stan Lee in 1997, and he would just wander around. There was no one trying to get his autograph.
Sure.
It was a...
Did he know where he was, or?
Yeah, I think so. He had about 20 years, to become the superstar he's become in his 90s.
Right.
So he was still pretty with it.
Cool. And now it's like how would you describe it now to somebody that hasn't been, and they hear about it on the news and...
It's crazy. I mean, Phoenix Comic-Con is a really big event here in town, but it's just like every video game manufacturer, movie studio, television network, anybody trying to push just something shows up there.
Sure.
And so when you're on the floor, it used to be the entire floor was all, comic, 1996, 97. Back then, there weren't the cosplayers that we have now. Back then, the cosplayers were Klingons. And that was almost it. And they were huge. They were
you don't mean just friends that would tag along. You mean the aliens from Star Trek.
These were, the only people that dressed up at Comic-Con back then were people who dressed up, according to my memory. Now, maybe someone can correct me on this, but they dressed up as Klingons, and they were big guys. They were really big guys dressed up like Klingons, and they would bark Klingonese at each other in front, and I'm guessing they knew what they were saying.
I'm sure they did. Yeah.
So that was.
Let me guess. All men.
I don't want to say that, but I think so.
Very likely.
Yeah. So.
Well, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And now you're representing. Did you own the comic book store when you first started going 20 years ago?
No, I was 15.
You were 15.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes you somewhere in your late 50s now, right?
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
So when did Ash Avenue Comics
2003
begin?
2003. So we're in our 15th year of business now.
Wow. 15 years of business in the Tempe area. That's no small feat.
No, these are not small feet.
Yeah, just ask the whatever business is on the corner of University and Mill right now. What is that, a Pita Jungle?
There's a Pita Jungle. Right. There's what used to be a Chili's, which is now like the ghost of Chili's.
Sure.
And then CVS.
I think I saw the ghost of Chili's in the bathroom earlier, too.
We need a rim shot for you, dude. I was like...
How about just a shot? Anybody?
Yeah. But, one condition.
What's that?
Shirts off. There's a reason why you didn't wear the tie.
That's 1 a.m. Ease of access. Right to the nips. But no, you started in 2003. Was it there?
Yeah.
In that area?
In the same plaza. Yeah, we've been in the same plaza. We've seen Tempe totally transformed.
The Pita Jungle used to be a fire department themed bar.
It's been a lot of different things.
Else.
Yeah. But it's Tempe's changed a lot. It went from kind of an interesting, town of musicians and weirdos and I don't know, dropouts. I guess ASU. There's a number of dropouts.
Any of them here? Any dropouts here?
All right. All college grads. Congratulations, guys.
Well, it is a bar, so. The dropouts are like creating apps and building small businesses and startups. The college students are here drinking their loans away. So you started in 2003.
2003.
Little space.
Yeah.
Where'd the inventory come from? I'm always curious. Where'd that
I worked for another store. Okay. So I worked for a store called All About Comics. They used to have 5 shops in the Valley. They now have just the one main store, and they're fantastic folks. And they're, I love my shop the most, but they're a very good shop if you're in a completely different part of town. So,
cool.
Yeah.
And Sarah, how did you get dragged into this madness? Were you a fangirl before you met Drew?
Not particularly. I picked up a comic every now and then. But we met when we were teenagers, and then I kind of moved around and came back later.
And then you guys reconnected, and now you're boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Isn't that what they call it?
That's the first time anyone said that about us in front of us. So.
All right! Phoenix Tonight exclusive! Going to be a 3-hour conversation about that later on. So you weren't necessarily into comics, but you are now the significant other of somebody that owns a comic book store.
Yes.
So surely you are a treasure trove of advice for girls or guys that are dating a nerd and they're not necessarily into it. What would you have to say to someone who is now a part of this world?
Just be happy that they have like an interest that isn't stupid. I don't know.
Or serial killing.
Hey, he could be out talking to people.
Yeah,
so thank God he's home. So are you guys ever, for example, watching Spider-Man Homecoming and spoiler alert coming, like Mac Gargan's on screen and you're like, hey, that's the Scorpion, and you're like, I don't give a fuck. Does that ever happen? Or?
That specific incident has not happened, but similar things have occasionally happened. Yeah.
Sure. Is there anything that you like now that you're surprised you like as a result of?
There's been a couple graphic novels that I've been into. Paper Girls.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Blankets? You read blankets?
He actually gave me blankets a long time ago when I lived out of state.
Oh, okay. It's a thick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. But you do your own thing.
Yes.
You have your own projects. You're your own person. You're not in the shadow of this comic book store owner.
Yeah. I've not had a very high success rate of rubbing all of my particular interests off, so on her.
You're getting there.
A little bit, here and there. Yeah.
You organize, and we've talked about it on the show before, you organize Untidy Secrets.
Yes.
A storytelling and zine swap series here in the Valley. Tell us about that a little bit.
We've been doing it for almost 2 years now, which is a long time, really. And people come on and they tell their stories. I kind of let whoever wants to come on come on.
Sure.
And
Obviously, I've been on it. Like
yeah,
3 or 4
yeah, you've been
times,
on it
so
a few
you just let
times.
anybody.
Yeah, pretty
wandering
much.
Off the street.
Usually people get about 7 minutes. They tell a story based on a theme from song lyrics, and I have put out 2 zines of stories that have been told at the storytelling event, and we're putting together a book of stories about songs.
Cool. And when can folks expect to see that? In the near future?
In the near future, I was hoping for September, but it probably is going to be maybe a month or 2 after that.
Now you say book as if people still read. Are people still reading books, or?
I hope so, for our sake.
It's just the pictures. People
Yeah.
just like, no.
The pretty pictures. Well, comics are short, and you could read one in probably 10 minutes or so if it's a standard single issue. So for me, it really plays into my non-committal personality. But Sarah, you're talking about a book where there's words and
Yes.
no pictures, and
Yes, well, I told everyone it can't be more than 1,500
no more than
words
1,500
per
okay.
yeah,
per story.
per story. So it should be in tiny chunks.
Why is storytelling such a viable art outlet right now in the Valley? It seems like there are a ton of storytelling events, and they're all great. They're all thriving.
That I don't know. I think there's, NPR has has The Moth, which is kind of a big storytelling thing right now. But there's been quite a few other people that have just kind of started doing their own storytelling events, and we all, it's not a competition, we all are very supportive of everybody. So
Very cool.
I think that helps people, okay, I'll do one too, kind of thing.
Sure. Has there been a time at the storytelling event where you thought, wow, that's why I'm doing this? This is a particularly touching moment between teller and audience.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a few. Like, people come on and it's almost like they're airing their, therapy to all of the people and kind of getting something off their chest, which is always kind of amazing to watch.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you do it at Ash Avenue
Yes.
Comics.
Yes.
Which is great. Drew,
Yes.
have you found that the storytelling event brings something to the store that maybe wasn't there before? Like your girlfriend, maybe?
Oh man, that's a zinger. Rim shot. I mean, you never know. I mean, you live in times in which people feel, increasingly disempowered with politics, with, economics, with all these different, isms and different kind of functions of society. And maybe, the storytelling is an opportunity for people to feel like they, have still their voice or something that, because comic writers and creators, I mean, it's a industry people, are envious of others who get into it, because people work their whole lives. They, work on comics. This guy makes comics. I don't know if anybody knows that, but
I do.
This guy makes comics. And
Thank you, yeah. Not all at once, but that's okay.
I can't see if anybody's still here. Okay.
Oh, I can hear them.
Yeah. But this guy makes comics. There's other people here who make comics, and it's of course the industry's changed a lot. The internet's changed the industry to the point where you can self-publish and you can have a much broader audience than if you were trying to break in through the conventional means of the big publishers. But I think one of the things that's as rewarding as if you're self-publishing or if you're involved in storytelling is that it's much easier to find that relationship, to someone who listens to or is reading or in some other way participating in your process of storytelling. And I think that's a lot more rewarding than maybe the old days where you just work and work and work and just hope that someone notices your talent and what you do. So,
Sure.
yeah.
That's great.
It's a little deep, but
I know, that was great.
Yeah.
That was like NPR stuff. Right there.
Yeah.
So what's next? Ash Avenue Comics obviously open.
Oh, we're going out of
7 days a
business
week.
tomorrow.
We're out of business tomorrow. Okay, well. Is there a clearance sale going on right now that I should be aware of?
I left it unlocked. We're in our 15th year. I mean, we're going to keep selling comics to people in Tempe, and I'm still somehow not sick of it 15 years in. I probably should go to school at some point.
Develop a backup plan.
Yeah, I need the backup plan, yeah.
So close to the university, but...
Yeah, kind of always outside the gates, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it's I love doing it, and we have some great customers, and you know, it's crazy to be in a college town where there's no bookstore, but there's a comic book store, and so...
There isn't a bookstore.
There's no, like, downtown... There's like an antique bookstore.
Sure.
On Mill Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
But there's no, like, new release bookstore within, we'll say, 500 yards of the campus.
That's crazy.
More, I'd say. But,
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were keeping the dream of paper. You're keeping paper alive.
Yeah, the dream of all those trees that are like, the Earth's dying, don't cut me down. It's like,
man,
oh, Spider-Man needs a story.
You didn't have to spin it like that, man.
I know. It's the duality of what I'm dealing with. So someone's laughing.
And Sarah, what's coming up for Untidy Secret Storytelling?
So I keep saying we. I am starting a new series at Space 55 called Chain Letter, and it's adapted from a series that I saw, or that some friends of mine are doing in Seattle, and basically it's a variety of performances, like performance artists, storytelling, musicians, comedians, poets, etc. That there'll be 7 of them to start, and then they choose the next. I'm doing it every other month, so they choose the next people that are curating the show.
Letter
yes.
Title.
Yes.
Oh, that's
yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And that's starting at Space. So this is a brand new storytelling series, performance series.
Yes.
Starting at Space 55 this month, next month.
It starts September 22nd.
Okay, cool. So people can go to space55.org. I believe, for more information about that, or just follow Untidy Secret Storytelling on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Ash Avenue Comics.com.
But there's a Facebook. We have study groups at the shop. We have reading groups. There's the storytelling night. There's usually an infrequent event every month or two that happens, and you can find that stuff on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's all out there.
Well, I think you guys are a true Tempe power couple.
Wow.
And I'm honored that you came to Monkey Pants tonight to do this. You braved the monsoonic activity, as Dave Muncie would say, to join me here.
And watch your kids around water.
Muncie.
Watch your kids around water. I know, now that he's...
Yeah, someone's got to...
Somebody has to say it,
Yeah.
because he's not around anymore. Kids are drowning by the dozens now that he's no longer with us. And on that cheery note, it's Drew and Sarah, everybody. Drew and Sarah!
Yo, feed me Xanax and